Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, I'm very much sure that you must be getting prepared for this upcoming full moon, which will happen to be the lunar eclipse as well. And I already have made a video on the probable impact and cautionary areas for all the rising signs that has been uploaded on my channel. But just because guys, a lot many people have been commenting on this, and I have also received certain DMs and emails as well regarding the remedies, and I have always remained very open, transparent and vocal about my own personal life, my own personal chart and dasha as well. So Rahu is a very important planet in my chart. On my ascendant, it is very tightly conjunct over my ascendant. My moon nakshatra is also of the Rahu, and right now Rahu is in Aquarius, transiting over my almost 5 planets are there in the Aquarius. So that means I am following all the precautionary things. So guys, yesterday only I put that on my Instagram story regarding the routine guide which I will be following for this month of September. So just because see, I have a very small community, even on the Instagram, if I go on the story section, there are hardly 50 or 60 people. Now obviously it hardly matters, numbers hardly matters. All what matters is that even on my YouTube channel as well, I can share that. So we already have had our discussion on the probable impact for all the rising signs. In this video, we will only focus on the remedies. And again guys, over here I'm not talking about the remedies which are just prescribed in the books. I'm discussing and sharing the remedies which I'm personally following in my own life as well, specifically for this month. Because guys, you have to understand that when we talk about the energy of the Rahu, there is always a 3 levels of it. The very first mediocre level is that you will be just getting obsessed and in a trail of a thought of a particular thing. This could be obsession, this could be insecurity, and everything is on the mental plane. Nothing is manifesting. It's all in the mind. That is the mediocre level of the 3 level of the manifestation of the energy of the Rahu. When we talk about the degrading level, the negative level, now that is the case when people start having major scams, becoming a victim of the scams and wrong decision. I always say it's the Rahu which does the mati bhram, buddhi bhrasht. It corrupts your mind. So like the way Mars, if afflicted, can give behavioral problem. If Rahu is working negative, the mind and the thought of the person is going to be very, very corrupt, and that will become responsible for the fall of that person. So mediocre level is getting stuck in one loop of the thought. Negative is all the scams and getting into problems because of your own wrong decision and all. And the productive side of Rahu is about all those people who start making money. Many door of opportunity opens for them. So all what matters is that in which domain Rahu energy is working in your life. Because guys, it doesn't need any explanation that Rahu in the Aquarius is considered as very strong. It's like its own terrain. And the second thing is that at the time of the eclipse, it's just like that Rahu and Ketu have subjugated and taken control over the luminaries. That means they are very powerful. So all the 3 levels which I have said about the manifestation of the Rahu energy will be very potent, will be very visible, and very much eligible for this month of September. And especially for those people in whose case, like the way Rahu becomes an important planet for you, like the way it is for me, or you are right now in the Rahu Dasha and all. So then knowing that becomes very important. So because see guys, when we talk about the vulnerable side of the Aquarius, the concern with the Aquarius is that it is 8th from the moon's original placement. From the Cancer, Aquarius is the 8th from there. And why we say that? When we talk about the good houses in astrological chart, we say the trine houses are good. We say that even the 11th house is not good because it is 6th from the 6th. That means too much of the desire for things can also cause the disease or the death as well. So I mean to say, when we talk about Rahu in the Aquarius, you just cannot stick to one line of prediction. It comes with its own kind of personality. and everything depends on your other supporting natal planetary alignments as well. What kind of promise you have in your chart, what is being promised by the running dasha, then only you can come to the conclusion. So yes guys, now I will just share the kind of remedies which I am following for this month. And if you also like facing the heat of Rahu acting negative for you, you have already started feeling restless and there are still many days for the lunar eclipse, so you can also opt for those remedies as well. So the very first thing guys which I am doing for this month is I ensure to visit the Lord Ganesha temple, and when I am there in the Lord Ganesha temple, I recite the Sankat Nashan Ganesh Stotram. I do meditate right in front of the idol of the Lord Ganesha. Now why it is important? It is very important because it stabilizes your thoughts. You have to understand Aquarius is a air sign, and like in all those cases where people are just kind of king in their own mind but not able to manifest anything in the world, that's all because they are just struck in a negative loop of the thought. So I mean to say, anything to balance the thoughts or stabilize your mind, the worship of Lord Ganesha is considered as one of the best. It stabilizes your buddhi, your chit. Like the way we say that if you actually have to see that in which capacity the energy of the Rahu is working in the chart, many Lal Kitab, red book astrologers give attention to how beautifully and strengthened Mercury is in the chart. So even for the Mercury, we worship the Lord Ganesha. So one of the routine which I am following for this month, if you also want to follow, is that Lord Ganesha Bhakti. And let's say for example, if you live in India and you have that provision of offering the Modak and the Durva for this whole month, and visiting the prime shrine of the Lord Ganesha, where Lord Ganesha is the central like deity of that temple, so that can be considered. That is what I am doing. That is what I am doing. The second remedy guys which I am doing for this month is that like I have heard a lot of the fellow astrologers talking about the benefit of this Lal Kitab remedy. We call it as the jaw, like bitter barley jaw. I got it from like one of the store in Vancouver. So soak it in the raw milk and put it under your mattress or your bed, and the following day you can put that in the flowing water. Now the advantage which I have is that I live close to the beach and all, so that is possible for me to do, and obviously it's organic. I'm not like contaminating the ocean and all. I'm very particular about it. So these things can be done. And we generally say, see, many people say that, you know, take that grains for the pigeons, bajra we call that in Hindi, and you know, rotate it from your head, and or you can also feed it to the birds as well. And many Lal Kitab astrologers also recommend putting a peacock feather under your mattress. So these are some of the tried and tested remedies which people generally recommend for the Rahu. So that is what I am doing. If you want to do that, you can follow that. Now the third remedy which I am doing, which I would recommend, that is see guys, like recitation of the Gayatri mantra before you go to sleep and after when you wake up becomes very important, because it's like the whole essence of the Gayatri mantra is taking you from the darkness to the light. So that means before you go to sleep, just recite, like that all depends on you, like recitation of the Gayatri mantra before you go to sleep and immediate after you wake up. Some people say that look at the east direction, that is all up to you. I don't want to complicate it. So that is going to be one of the good recommended remedy. Now after that guys, which I am doing for this month is that I always say that Rahu loves the exotic things. Rahu loves the foreign things. Now just because I have a strong Rahu, I have a strong Mercury in my chart, so I always have that like thing for the foreign languages. On and off, I keep on picking up foreign languages only. So it's like I just ordered the Mandarin dictionary as well. I have a very good Chinese, like there's a Chinese lady friend, so she is also helping me with learning the Mandarin as well. So I mean to say, anything which is exotic, because again Aquarius is a air sign, everything is happening on the mental plane. And let's say for example, if you have a obsessive personality, unnecessary, you feel anxious and you are a victim of the anxiety and all. So putting the trail of thoughts for the constructive use. Now obviously, like if you are a devotee, many people just keep on doing the mala, reciting the mala, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Some people do the Vishnu chanting and all. But for many people, I would say that if you are a very academic and intellectual kind of person, so any foreign thing, any foreign language, and obviously like that is the only reason we say that if Rahu is working constructively, favorably, it can make you software engineer, it can take you into the IT and all, any tech software thing. Same is the way with the influence of the Rahu in the Aquarius, picking up a new foreign language can be considered. Working out, guys, becomes very important. Physical exhaustion of the energy becomes very important. Aquarius is like the way you can see it, that it is sixth from the Virgo. That means the health. So health needs to be monitored as well. Excessive thinking and excessive stress and feeling anxious, insecure is not good for you. And generally people say that going for a run and doing workout exhaust your energies. Setting up high goals. Again, guys, 3 level of the Rahu energy. If you will take up the higher domain of the Rahu, it can manifest many things for you. That is the reason we say that in the Kali Yuga, the king of the Kali Yuga is Rahu only, because it can, when it gives in plethora, it gives bountiful things. So like planets like Jupiter and other planets still have got a range and a limit, but Rahu is limitless. So I mean to say, if your Rahu Dasha is active, Rahu is very strong, so always have a high set goals, because otherwise you will be struck in an unproductive loop of nothingness. Nothingness is important for the spiritual seeker, but if you are in a material realm and you actually want to grow, again guys, Rahu period could be the time of like achievement and attainment of many things, so that needs to be done. Apart from that, guys, I generally say that the Rahu and the Aquarius combination, somehow I personally feel, I listen to the preaching of many scholars, many Vedic followers like Swami Om and many people, but somehow Osho, the take and preaching of Osho on spirituality is like timeless. It's ahead of the time. So I would recommend something like that, where you're not being too dogmatic, where you're not being very orthodox, you are just open to the new way of understanding. So listening to someone like Osho, like obviously based on your culture, based on your religion, faith and system, whomsoever you find very futuristic, listening to that person could be one of the way of understanding what Rahu wants out of you. Apart from that, guys, some Vedic astrologers say that adding a silver in your body always helps. So in my case, I'm already wearing a blue sapphire in a silver ring. So anything silver in your body, in the older times, people used to recommend keeping a silver ball, chandi ki goli, silver ball in their pocket, in the purse and all. It has to be close to your body because it calms the mind. But again, I would say silver, people say that it's calming the moon. But in case of the Rahu, strengthening the Mercury becomes more important. More than the moon, strengthening the Mercury becomes very important, because you have to understand that you have to just be a drishta. You just have to be a witness rather than getting entangled with the bombardment of the thoughts which Rahu is giving it to you. So that becomes important. Apart from that, guys, let's say for example, if you are actually the 3 levels of the Rahu energy which I have mentioned, like one is productive, one is just being struck, and third is negative. Now let's say for example, if the negative is getting applicable in your case, you are a extreme case of like anxiety, depression, and lot of the scams are happening in the house, and incurable, undiagnosed diseases, bad company, so betrayal in relationship. If all of that is happening, then organizing a proper Anushtan becomes important. Again, guys, people have this mindset when they go to an astrologer, and I will be very honest with you guys, my name is Nipun Joshi. If you will search that in Chat GPT, in Gemini, the first thing which the internet will say is that the Joshi comes from the Jyotishi. This caste lineage people have been astrologers. I mean, I have grown up in the astrology circle environment only. There used to be the time the consultation of the astrologers used to be less and the Anushtan cost needs to be higher. So that is what is the value of your money. Even if you're like paying like For example, in India, like certain astrologers are charging $2,000, for example, $1,000 for a consultation. It is just a diagnosis. It is not a solution. It is just giving you the direction. But the solution comes in a very quick way if a right ritual anushthan is being performed for you. And there are like certain things which you cannot do on your own. You have to understand this thing. So I would say that if Rahu is giving negative results to you, so getting an anushthan done is very much recommended. So anushthan means like, you know, where like 3 or 4 priests, they will decide that, okay, if it's like 100,000 times the japa, shanti japa, the peace giving like ritual chanting needs to be done for Rahu in 100,000 number, 51,000, in 18,000 count. They will decide, and that's how they will distribute amongst themselves. And every day they will come to your place, they will do the sadhana. First they will do the Navgraha puja, Navgraha shanti. There is going to be a Havan, the fire ritual which will take place. There will be the Shiva Stuti, there will be the Shiva Rudrabhishek which will take place. And then empty stomach in the fruits, they will do the whole chanting for you. So that's how you have to do the Anushthan. And obviously it's gonna cost you, because if there are like certain expert, scholarly people who will do that on your behalf, it is going to be expensive. And that is what brings a change. So okay, again guys, I don't want to caution anyone, but more than going over budget in paying for the consultation fee of an astrologer, if you want to go extra mile, go for getting a ritual done, because that is where the solution will come. It will not come from the consultation. Now things have turned topsy-turvy. More than the Anushthan fees, people are charging more for the consultation. But okay, I will not comment anything on that. So that needs to be done. Now guys, when we talk about the image which Rahu has got about the indulgences, Bhog Vilas. So over there as well guys, again, a lot of that is not being applicable on me. So I'm just giving you a reference, my views on that. So okay, let's talk about smoking. Like there have been many Vedic astrologers who even brought this trend of smoking in the camera, that you are strong, you are strengthening Rahu. No, it's negative, it's evil. It's gonna damage your, corrupt your thoughts, your mind, and the attention which you will get from all the corrupt people. It's not like going to be good energy. You're not invoking the good, positive side of the Rahu. So smoking is not a good way in order to strengthen Rahu. So for example, if a person is in the Rahu Dasha, back to back he is becoming a victim of the things, and that person smokes a lot. So it's like he is degrading and damaging his Rahu more. So smoking, that smoke needs to be avoided. Alcohol. See, the thing is, alcohol incites the provocative side of the Rahu. Like the way, for example, people who get drunk and then they get into problem. So that is the typical, it's like a fuel is like, you know, giving a food to a devil. So alcohol is very provocative, especially for the Rahu. I remember like now obviously because now I don't live in India and I'm not that part of the whole neighborhood and all. I have my own sadhana and my own peaceful life and all on my own. But in the older times, I remember when I was like growing up in India, that's what they used to say, that if someone has to do a spell on someone, someone has to do a sammohan kriya on someone, so that's a negative Rahu, right? All the black magic practitioner, that's all negative Rahu. So they used to do something and mix the potent in the alcohol and make the person consume that, and that's how they used to put that person under spell. So alcohol is also a negative provocative side of Rahu. I'm just telling you, if you are going through the negative side of the Rahu. Third is about, people talk about like meat, non-vegetarian food. So guys, again, the problem with the Rahu is that Rahu represents the addictive tendency. So it's only going to be, so meat and the non-vegetarian food does not have an addictive tendency. And let's say, for example, if you work in construction, if you are like, you work in policing, military job, and you have any of the like high protein requirement and all. So with meat, with non-vegetarian food, I have never ever heard about anything which damages the Rahu. Just want to be very clear out there. And lastly guys, when people talk about the sex and all, so again you have to understand that how much is too much and how much is in mediocrity. Because I mentioned this thing, you cannot even forget this thing, that Aquarius is the highest of the Kama sign. Aquarius is 6th from the Virgo, 6th from the 6th, and it is also 8th from the Cancer. So as long as it is not becoming an obsession for you, it's fine. And the second thing is that, especially when we talk about this kind of alignment, Here I'm just talking about from the September point of view. So over there guys, like see, a lot is dependent on your partner's energies as well. So I'm talking about from a free society point of view. Obviously if you're married to someone, you are in love with someone, that's fine. But let's say for example you're dating someone and it's still not it's not still that strong. So when we talk about the sexual aspect, so a lot is dependent on the energy levels of your partner. If you are being involved with someone who has got very chaotic, depressive, unbalanced kind of personality, it will bring down your energies as well. So, and again, there are like certain alignments over where it's like, you know, catching a disease, STD and all of that, that is also possible because Aquarius, Rahu has a potential for that. And because see, because you have to understand this thing, like for example when we talk about the Aquarians, so it's like there's this Aquarian guy, I remember in his case, Aquarius Lagna, Rahu and Moon conjunct in the first house, and he said this thing because obviously like Moon becomes the sixth lord, and he says this thing, Nepon, whensoever I have helped people with the money, I have bought not their gratefulness, their gratitude or their thankfulness, their enmity, because I give them money just on the good faith, and when I have to ask money back, I need to push my muscle because they are not willing to give it back, and unnecessarily they have become my enemies. And what is the source of gaining that enmity with someone? Because I helped them with money, I loaned them money. So that's what you have to understand, because guys see, right now this is a kind of alignment. Obviously everything comes down to if Rahu is active in the dasha as well. If Rahu is right now active in your case, and Rahu, your moon nakshatra is of Rahu, Rahu is there in the first house, in the 10th house, Rahu is active in the dasha. So that means in this month the energy of Rahu will manifest very strong results. Now positive, negative, evil, that's all dependent on you. You have to assess that. And yes guys, I guess I remembered I covered most of the remedies which I mentioned. Yes, so yes guys, that's what my guide is. And yeah, I forgot to mention the most important thing. I am also doing the Sundarkand every day. So for this whole month, for sure, every day, because Sundarkand, Lord Hanuman protects, Sundarkand protects. So let's say for example if you are running a very heavy dasha, like for example, and for certain rising signs, if you are a Cancer Lagna, so that means it is happening in your 8th house, and your chart is very accident prone, scandal prone, sudden scandal and kind of crisis prone, and that is what the dasha is also indicating. So then Sundarkand protects, Lord Hanuman protects. So yes guys, and see, that is not possible in living in Canada, but back in India, that astrologers and the priest who came to my home and did the ritual, they also mentioned this thing that on specific days you can also do the donation to the Kushtarogi. Kushtarogi. So that's a Hindi word. In English means many disabled and the handicapped people. So because see, the donation of the Rahu and Saturn is always given to the like unprivileged people, homeless people, people who does the cleaning and the sweeping job and all. Generally that is considered with the Rahu. Now don't take it as an offense. I know like a lot of my good friends, they work as janitor, but again I'm talking about, and if I have to tell about the typical Rahu energy, so it's not only about being janitor, it's like about someone who is a international foreign diplomat, that is also Rahu. So you have to understand this thing. So yes guys, this is what my guide for this month is. My schedule is very tight. I need to rush to the Ganesha temple and then to the gym for my ongoing preparation for something. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I'm receiving a lot of the DMs and emails. So I just shared my whole schedule guys for this month. And yeah, now I'm remembering everything. What I also do is that for this month, before I take a bath in my shower and all, so I put in the water little bit of the Himalaya salt or that kind of detox salt which people use, and slight quantity of that I ordered it from Amazon, and 1 drop of the sandalwood oil as well, and then I take it once, because we say that this how you remove the negative aura energy from you. So that is very important when the energy of Rahu, because in my case Rahu is in the first house, to guard myself from the negativity, so that toxic energy. So that can also be done, adding that salt specifically designed, meant for the foot bath which people use in the spa. Little bit of that just over your body with little bit of the sandalwood oil in it, also guards, also protects. So yes guys, this is what my guide for this month is. I hope you found this video informational, and yeah, if you want any more video on that, anything on this upcoming eclipse, on the Pitra Paksh, any specific combination you want to decode, do write it in the comment section. So yes guys, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.